Women have more financial power than ever, but studies show that 93% of women continue to be anxious about their financial situation.
Yeah, local financial professional Abby Reed joins us to discuss women's financial concerns and offer a few money moves in order to build your confidence. Welcome back to ATL Live.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Abby, good to see you.
You've been here before. This is our first time meeting, so pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
You know, the studies show that women are wealthier than ever. Right. So why is this feeling of concern still?
Yeah, it's interesting. So as wealth starts to shift, it's going to continue to shift until about 2030, when actually women control more wealth than men for the first time in our country's history. So, but the confidence hasn't risen with that in the same pace. Yeah. So a record number of women are feeling financial stress in general, and I think people in general are feeling financial stress. So it's not necessarily a uniquely, female issue. However, we do face some different and unique challenges when it comes to finances and building wealth. So one of those we've all heard of is the gender pay gap. And while that has narrowed, we've done a very good job of focusing on that, and women have made some amazing strides. Women on average are still paid about 83% of the male counterparts in the same type position. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to pay bills and build wealth. And then I would say the typical, or at least the historical role that females and women play in the family is the caretaker. So they're more likely to go out of the workforce or cut down to part-time or take a less demanding job with more flexibility. And usually those are lower paid positions. So that can take a toll. And while that's such a gift to be able to do that, it can have some long lasting impacts financially, at least. And then also on top of those things, we live longer. So typically women live about 6 to 7 years longer.
I know my wife is smiling. She's smiling at home.
Everyone is smiling. Right? Which is so interesting that you say that, because I do feel like that word was stressors. So women are under quite a bit of stress, but when we're thinking about and kind of unpacking how to build confidence, and I think you really touched on an important point about a lot of women are balancing full-time work, family life, in addition to just living
so much,
living their own life and their autonomy. So what are some of those ways to kind of build confidence?
Yeah, so those stresses, the three main ones are going to be just managing the monthly bills, and whether that's making ends meet, financially, or just finding a system that works for you and your family as far as budgeting and all of that. That's huge. Emergency expenses are a huge source of stress for really everybody, but women in particular, and then also persistent inflation. So the first thing that I tell everybody, and this is good advice for anybody,
we love that,
is to build that financial foundation. And what I mean by that is, number one, you start with an emergency fund.
I talk about Jordans. Not for Jordans. Not for Jordans.
Hey, you can. Whatever your values are, go ahead and stick some more money in there for some Jordans. Or hair, that's my thing.
Yes, exactly.
You want to do a 3 to 6 months of expenses in a specific type of savings account called a high yield savings account.
Beautiful.
So not a checking account, not a regular savings account, but a high yield savings account. It's still liquid, it's still accessible, but it's going to get you a much higher interest rate.
It's pumping up that rate. Absolutely.
Exactly. So I want everybody to go look at your savings account, see what the interest rate they're giving you. If it's under 3%, you need to move it to a high yield savings account.
There you go.
And that's also going to help you build those 3 to 6 months, because the interest is going to continue to be credited at a higher rate.
Absolutely.
So that's number one. That's going to be your shield, really, because if there are emergencies, there are unexpected expenses, you're going to be able to pull from that instead of going into high interest rate debt, instead of putting it on a credit card or blowing your budget. And then second is to pay off the high interest rate debt. Find a debt method that works for you and start chipping away at that.
Beautiful.
Once those two things are done, you can start to contribute to if you have a employer plan, contribute enough to get the match. That's free money.
So good. So good.
Don't leave that on the table.
I mean, just always so many tips. We're already out of time because Abby is just always bringing the heat. We thank you so much. We're going to include more information on atlliveshow.com because there's so much here. Thank you so much for also broadening the conversation, because the women are dealing with those stressors. This really does work no matter man or woman. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For more information about everything you heard today, again, to get connected with Reed Financial Group, visit atlliveshow.com. Thanks, Abby.
Thanks, Becky.